We've got a great head coach, great staff, and a great group of players that will get the job done. Not as far away as it seems. Shannon, is there any truth to this?
Yeah, he's absolutely right. The only thing they're not far away from is last place in the terrible NFC East. That's the only thing they're not far away from. And actually, they should be tied in last with the Giants because they should be 0-4 also. Skip, he's delusional. This is typical delusional Cowboy talk. Because what he's talking about, Skip, is that offensively, and Jerry has always been a guy, Skip, because the bells and whistles, high-flying offense. That's why he loved Tony Romo, the improvisational, spinning out of sacks and throwing touchdowns. Jerry loves that. Skip, does he realize how historically bad his defense is? And because his offense, yes, they're prolific. But what happens when their offense doesn't score? Well, let me tell you, Stephen Jones, just in case you weren't paying attention. The score was tied 14-14. Your offense went 5 straight possessions, and they didn't score a point. The next time they scored a touchdowns, guess what the score was? It was 41-14 when you got your next one, so it ended up being 41-21. That's where you was, 41-22, because I think they went for 2.
Yep.
That's where you was, Stephen. Your offense, the reason why it puts so much pressure on your offense, Skip, is because their defense can't stop anybody. So as great as your offense is, if you go 2 possessions without scoring, when you get the ball back, Skip, you probably down 10 at the bare minimum. That's a hard way to play the game, knowing that, man, if we don't score every time we touch the ball, we're probably going to lose because our defense can't stop anybody. Where's the defense? Does Jerry realize, Skip, when they were winning these Super Bowls, does Jerry realize how good his defenses were? Dave Wanstead had those guys playing out of their minds. There's a reason why you traded for Charles Haley, because you needed defense. There's a reason why you went out and made Deion Sanders the high-play cornerback in football. You needed defense. So what Jerry did, Skip, he needed defense. I guess C.D. Lamb was there. Skip, offense wasn't their problem last year. They was, what, number 1 or number 2 in total offense last year. They were terrible in defense, and they're even worse this year. So, Stephen, I don't know what you're close to. Not far away from. But if you think you're not far away from contending for a Super Bowl, Skip, you're not beating Green Bay. You're not beating New Orleans. You're not beating Seattle. Already done beat the brakes off you. And right now, you're not going to beat Tampa. So, yeah, I'm going to make Skip. That division is terrible. Somebody's coming up out of that division. So there's no doubt about that. Somebody's coming up out of that division. But Stephen Jones, you're further away than you actually think. It's not like the rear view. It's not like the mirror, Skip. Objects are closer than they appear. Yeah. Actually, you're not closer than you think.
So, to your point, the only reason either Stephen or Jerry Jones can get away with making this case to their fans is because they still reside in what could turn out to be the worst division in the history of pro football.
You might be right here.
It just might turn out that bad. Jerry and Stephen are both super salesmen who will get away with selling whatever they can get away with selling their fandom. Jerry has always been about box office over wins, about entertainment over playoff games. Like it's all about the entertainment value that he gives to his fans. And right now he has a dream of his worst nightmare because he's got it all. He's got the most explosive offense in pro football, and it ain't even close. And he could be 0-4. So it's all about, it's all icing and no cake. It's all sizzle and no steak, right? So you can still get away with trying to sell that because you can also dangle the carrot at the end of the line saying, we might just steal the East because it's still stealable. We're not out yet, right? Okay. So he also knows that they get to play the cellar dweller in the division this Sunday at home. The Giants are 0-4, and the Cowboys are almost a double-digit favorite over the New York Football Giants, now coordinated on offense by Jason, old 8-8 Jason Garrett. Okay, I'm going to remind everybody in Cowboy Nation, you better be careful what you wish for here, because the 0-4 Giants, if anybody looked harder at what happened in their stadium on Sunday, the Rams were there. Did you notice what the final score was? Did you notice it was only 17-9 Rams?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that the Rams led only 10-9 early in the fourth quarter?
Right.
Do you realize the Giants actually played them pretty much straight up the whole game? It took, what's his name, Cooper Kupp. He got loose for a 55-yard touchdown that broke it open late in the game to make it 17-9. But I look at what happened at the end of the game. Daniel Jones got them down to 2nd and 5 at the Rams' 18-yard line with 52 seconds left. He's throwing into the end zone, and it's still a one-score game.
Right.
You're going to have to go for 2 to tie, obviously, but he threw an interception.
Right.
Okay, but that's how close they came to upsetting the heavily favored Rams. So what did they do in that game? Do you realize the Giants ran for 136 yards by committee? It was Gallman and Daniel Jones ran for 40. He can run. He can move. And they got Devontae Freeman now, and he chipped in with 33 yards. So by committee, they had 136 yards rushing. My team at home just gave up 307.
3 Bills.
307 to Cleveland, and Nick Chubb, God bless him, I'm knocking on wood for him, he got hurt early in the game. Or they might have had 400, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what do you think the Giants might do? Jason Garrett's not a fool. He'll go in there and try to shorten the game. Run, because you should be able to run like mad. You should be able to get 2 Bills, even as the Giants, and they don't even have Saquon, but they still have a credible stable of backs and a pretty good offensive line. And they're going up against what Pro Football Focus calls the worst defense in the NFL, Dallas's defense. By the way, Pro Football Focus only ranks my offense 11th because it goes all over. It's here, there, and everywhere, but it will self-destruct. And it's always playing from behind, so it's highly overrated because, as you always say, defenses back off and say, okay, we'll give you that, that. We just don't want to get nothing cheap deep, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it's overrated, empty calorie sort of stats that they're piling up, and Pro Football Focus is saying, nope, we're not buying this. You're the 11th best offense. Well, worst defense, 11th best offense, and they have the worst turnover differential in pro football. What's going to happen? You're just a bad football team.
You are.
They're -7 in turnovers because the defense will not take the ball away.
Correct.
They have 2 takeaways and 9 giveaways.
So with all that you just said, okay, they just gave up, they're the last in scoring defense. They're last in rush defense, just gave up 300 yards rushing. They have 2 takeaways in 4 games. And you talk about you're close?
Yeah, and seriously, I'm not just saying this. Do I really trust they're going to beat the Giants on Sunday? I don't, because what have they shown me? What proof what evidence do I have they can beat the Giants? The Giants came close to upsetting the Rams. The Rams proved on opening night they're better than the Cowboys. So what proof do I have? That they did a number on Jared Goff. They held him to 200 yards passing. Their defense, the Giants' defense, is ranked middle of the pack. They're 17th in points allowed and 12th in yards allowed. So they're somewhere right in the middle.
They rank higher than the Cowboys.
Okay, way better. like 15 slots better, 17 slots better, 20 slots better. So again, are you sure about this? That they're going to cover a 10-point spread? It's 9 right now, but.
And the thing is, Skip, about, oh, these are close losses. Bruh, you down 41-14 in the NFL game. This is not college.
No.
Teams don't normally get down 41-14 in an NFL game. You're down 27, you're down 19, you're down 15, 16 points a game, and you do this game after game after game. There's a reoccurring theme here. Your defense isn't that good, and you can't separate them. Skip, be like, oh, they got a great offense, but it's not offense. Well, okay, the offense going to go to the playoffs. The defense is going to stay home. You're a team. And if the offense has a lull where you go 1 or 2 possessions and you don't score, the way the Cowboys defense is